Hello, I'm joined by Stephen Lee, the Franchise Development Manager at Estate.com. How are you doing, Stephen?
Yeah, I'm very well, thank you.
Good stuff. So tell us a little bit about Estate.com.
Okay, Estate.com, we're a new franchise business here in the UK, and indeed a new brand, we hope a welcome brand into the estate agency business that most people are familiar with. And we'd like to think that we're going to be doing a few things quite different than perhaps what's been traditionally done in the property market.
Oh, okay, great. Sounds really interesting. I mean, why are you here at the Business Startup Show and the Great British Business Show? I mean, the audience are SMEs and young businesses. What can you do for them?
Yeah, I guess we're here to introduce ourselves to that marketplace, and to let them know what it is that we do, and also what it is that we don't do. I've mentioned a couple of times since I've been here, there seems to be some great suspicion within the UK public in terms of what an estate agency should be and what it shouldn't be. So it's enabled us to get across our message in terms of what it is that we want to do with our estate agency offices, and what are some of our principles that perhaps we think are going to be different than what we're traditionally used to in the property market.
Yeah, well, let's run over some of those principles then. For people watching who have reservations about the estate industry, what are the key things and misconceptions about it, do you think?
Okay, I think generally speaking, people are afraid of paying an agent any money in terms of their commissions in return for maybe a price that they've not been happy with. So I suppose for us the journey starts with a property owner, of where we want to be honest and upfront with them initially in guiding them to exactly and what realistically is the price that they may expect in the marketplace. And we do that in a number of ways based on research, historical data, what's going on in that particular marketplace. Because we say that there's nothing worse than being misled or guided in a direction that your property is worth more than it is. And it seems to be a common practice, maybe not just in this country, but indeed others, where often the estate agent will tell you your property is worth a higher value than maybe it is. And you'd ask, well, why would they do that? They do that often to get the listing. Estate agents want the listing of the property or the instruction to sell the property, and sometimes they're tempted to quote a higher price to attract the interest of the property owner, when the realistic proposition is they're not going to achieve that price.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
We'd like to think that we approach it from a different angle. We based our assessment of the property value based on facts and figures, not...
And your company name is Estate.com.
Estate.com.
I mean, are you based? How does that work? Because obviously with Estate you have to be out in the real world and out of the office. How does that dynamic work, and why did you decide to have a .com in your name?
Okay, well, Estate.com, we always say that the top high-level domain is .com. We also have .co.uk, but we believe at a higher level .com. We're also a global company, so we're here in London now, but we're operating internationally. We've just come back from 2 exhibitions over in America, in Los Angeles. So to have the .com brand for us is very important as a global entity.
Yeah, absolutely. And how were the shows over in LA?
They were very successful. We hadn't intended doing the 2 whilst we were there. We set about doing a franchise exhibition, which was very successful. We got a high level of interest. We were delighted to receive interest from people who wanted to explore a master franchise for certain territories, so for California and Florida in particular. We decided to stay on because we hadn't realised, but there was the biggest National Association of Realtors conference whilst we were there, so we stayed on a few more days and did another exhibition for 4 days over the following weekend, and both were very, very good for us.
And that's an indication of I mean, is it an indication of the property market as a whole? I mean, that we have that much interest, and that people like you are here offering these franchises, and presumably you're growing and you're healthy. Is that an indication of the property market in its current state?
I think it is. I mean, a lot of people think that the property market is doomed at the moment. There's a lot of doom, gloom, and despondency, but we always say wherever there are challenges in the property market, whether it's in the US, and incidentally they're probably having a bit of a harder time than we are here in the UK. Right. But wherever there are challenges in the market, we believe that opens up opportunities for new brands such as Estate.com. With some of our guiding principles, I think that's been refreshing. Certainly if we gauge the response that we had when we were in the United States, they said that it's a welcome addition to their property landscape to have a new operator such as our company. And indeed what they're seeing is that they're selling a lot of properties below market expectations, and it's their belief that once they can get rid of a lot of those, it might clear the way then to a more prosperous property market, particularly property owners.
Okay, well that's do you have any advice for these people? I mean, we are surrounded by SMEs and young businesses, and they might not have the direction that a global company like yourselves have. So, do you have any hints or tips for these people watching?
Yeah, I think so. I'd just say to them, whatever business proposition you're looking at, is ask a lot of questions. And a lot of the people we have met here have asked the right sorts of questions. They've been asking, why are we going to be different in the marketplace? What's our value add proposition? How long have you been operating? Who are the founding members of the company? How well funded are you? So there's some of the key questions I would suggest that you should be asking whatever business opportunity you're looking at. Find out who you're dealing with, do your research, and also if there's one major question I'd ask of each of us, of ourselves, is that can you be passionate about the business that you're currently exploring? So if you're not passionate about property, or you have no interest, I'd say estate agency or the property business isn't for you. It sounds pretty obvious, but people are sometimes misled into wanting something for the money. But
of course, I mean that was going to be my next question. I mean, what type of person generally are you looking for? I mean, can anyone do? I mean, anyone can do it, presumably, if they have the passion. But what particular traits are you looking for within a person?
Yeah, we're looking for passionate people. People who, maybe not immediately, but people who will share our vision of wanting to be a part of a new brand here in the UK. We think an exciting brand, a new exciting property company that you'll be proud to work for, or indeed proud to own. So I think the first thing is you need to be passionate about what it is that you're going to be doing. You want to work for a professional company in that sector as well.
And, you know, as a franchise, it's the same for starting your own business. You know, regardless what it is, passion is kind of at the core of everything entrepreneurial, I guess.
It is, and that's the great thing about franchise systems, is that it's often referred to as a business in a box, but effectively you're given all the tools and resources that you need. So effectively you can start up an estate agency business with relatively little experience. We do suggest, of course, full training, and we fully support the Association of Estate Agents here in the UK, and we'd always recommend that our agent should seek the fullest training and expertise possible.
Brilliant. Okay, well that just about wraps it up. I think we've covered just about everything estate-wise, and if you are looking to franchise, then, you know, get down to estate.com, or log on to estate.com, I should say, or .co.uk, and speak to you guys. So thanks very much for joining us, Stephen.
All right, thank you, Niall.
Thank you.
Thank you.